Welcome back. God bless you and God bless America. I am your host, Steve, and this is the Liberal Letdown. We're going to talk about two main things today. Both have been talked about endlessly today. So, there you go. But Colin Kaepernick and Judge Brett Kavanaugh. Now, I am an avid supporter of our military, our police, fire, first responders, and I also am a huge supporter of the Second Amendment, of which Judge Brett Kavanaugh is also. So, you don't want to hear about any of this today, then turn it off or turn it up. Here we go. Our first story is the NFL. They came out with their own their own defense of Colin Kaepernick, which is hysterical because Kaepernick's claiming that he's being blackballed by the NFL. So, I mean, that's even funnier. NFL says social justice issues raised by Kaepernick deserve our attention and action. Oh boy. Well, that's a lot to unload, mainly because there are no social justice issues raised by Kaepernick. They're lies. It is a lie. It is an abundantly inflated statistic that doesn't even come close to telling the truth. So for those of you who actually believe that he is some great person who is truly shining light on all the wrongdoings in the world, you've been duped. You've been abundantly duped. Because there is no mass killing of black people by police officers. To black men and women. There isn't. There's not even close, actually. Cops aren't just going out and just shooting black people. You know, you sit there and then you prop up this guy who is taking endorsements from terrorists, from people who funded terrorists. And he instigated a lot of it when he wore those socks with the damn pigs dressed as cops. You know, or cops depicted as pigs. I mean, come on, you're going to sit there, you're going to pull that, and then you're going to come out and say, oh, well, cops are bad people. You mean, come on. I mean, you can't do that. That's wrong. And you lose credibility. So the NFL's statement reads as such. The NFL has recently released a statement on social justice saying that the issues Colin Kaepernick and others have raised deserve attention and action. So, I highly disagree. And all the people going through with this and propping this guy up. And even on my Cleveland Browns, Jarvis Landry's, he's sitting there propping him up. And I'm like, man, get it right, dude. You are not oppressed by anybody. You are not held down by anybody. You are a star in Cleveland. An absolute desperate team right now. And you're giving us light. How are you being held down at all? How are you a product of the man holding you down? You're not. Cops don't mess with you. Cops probably love you because most cops are conservative. Most conservatives love football. And Cleveland fans are diehard. It's just sad. And Steelers fans are all bandwagoners. They don't understand what it's like to lose and suck for 20-some years. What gets me about Kaepernick is if he was sitting there taking a knee for black-on-black crime, I feel he'd have an unlimited amount of support. And I feel that through conversation, he wouldn't do it during the anthem. And I feel he'd get a lot more done than literally nothing. He has literally gotten nothing achieved since doing any of this. Succeeded nowhere. But somehow he's got a deal with Nike. He got a Nike deal because they took a black and white photo of him with his fro, and they put some words behind it. It's just disturbing how easily people who literally take a knee, they don't do anything, get paid. And you know, you hear, you know, LeBron talking smack on white people on his new show on HBO. And it's like, wait a minute, dude. What? The majority of the people who pay your salary, your fee to perform for them are white. So for you to say that you don't mess with white people, or you don't like white people, or you didn't, or this or that, that's ballsy, man. It takes everything you were. Everything. Oh, you're the GOAT. You're not. You're garbage. You'll never beat Jordan. You'll be a broken bum soon enough. You know, the NFL changed their anthem policy. That got me in trouble at work when I talked about it. And the policy was, the NFL's policy is that all players, whether if you're on the field, you stand and show respect, and if not, you stay in the locker room. Well, the NFL Players Association filed a grievance, and the NFL then suspended this rule. So, yet again, the NFL is going to lose a lot of money this year. And there's just nothing we can do about it. There's nothing they can do about it. I really wish he would have taken a knee. He would have done anything differently than what he did and how he did it and for what cause he did it. You are a half-black guy who was raised by white people and went to college on scholarship. And then got drafted into the NFL. And no, you didn't lead your team to the Super Bowl. You didn't. You didn't at all. Because you had a good couple games, and then you flopped the next year. And you're going to come out and you're going to say that you've been held back and held down? I just don't think that's appropriate at all. But the next story I have about this is these people who like Nike. Okay, so listen here. I've always been an Under Armour person. I don't know why. I always enjoy their stuff. I like their compression undershirts. Helps my back. It's a personal thing. Okay. So this doesn't really affect me now. If he was if Under Armour was like, hey, this is where we're going. I'm like, nah, man, I can't buy your shit no more. Because I don't agree with that. I'm not gonna. Me personally, I'm not gonna knowingly support somebody or a company that actively proposes and supports and props up people who speak lies to millions and who look to benefit from it. I'm not gonna do that. So no, I'm not going to burn my things, but that's what these people are doing. These Nike fans are burning their gear, and it's like, you're dumb. Why are you going to burn your stuff? Even though it's made in sweatshops, it's still good quality stuff. Just don't buy any more. If you're going to still go buy stuff, then I don't know. I would disagree. And I think that either you don't care, which is fine. Not everybody cares. Not everybody looks as deeply or feels as deeply as I do I don't care. I'm not going to sit there and throw it down your throat, but when you come at me and say, well, he's actually a hero, I'd be like, no, he's really not. He played 2 years and he sucked for most of it. Dude had a big arm and he couldn't control it. He threw a lot of picks, got benched, took a knee. That's what happened. Didn't get signed anywhere. Nobody wanted to deal with it. He became irrelevant, wanted to be relevant, took a knee, backfired. Sued the NFL, lost. Nike signed him on a bogus stat. And then he goes, this is a man, okay, so Colin Kaepernick is a person who loves or supported Fidel Castro and the Castro family and everything they did. He murdered people. He imprisoned people and murdered them because he wanted to. So you're going to sit there and you're going to take a knee for police brutality, and yet you're going to stand up and speak proudly about Castro? That's what Kaepernick is to you. That's what Nike hired. That's what they're paying for. They're paying for somebody who loves communism, who hasn't done anything significant in years except take a knee and bash police officers, who would rather see people shot and killed for political gain than have a healthy discussion. That's what they're supporting. I just you read all these Twitters, these tweets from people who are all upset about it. And, I think people have a right to be upset. A lot of people like Nike stuff, seeing as how, they helped make Nike Nike. And I have to agree. I love this country. I love this country so much, and everybody absolutely is entitled, every American citizen is entitled to their freedom of speech and their right to protest, and I 100% agree. Never have said I don't. But I've said plenty of times that there's a time and place to do things, and that choosing to do it during the national anthem is just dumb. And it's inappropriate, and it's wrong, and it's a slap in the face to every man and woman who's ever served. It is. And people who don't see it that way, that's your opinion, whether you served or not. I'm not here to argue with you on how you feel. That's how you feel. I'm saying I think it's dumb. That's why I'm going to make the choices that I make, because I'm a grown man, and because I'm an adult, and because I pay my own bills, and because I'm allowed to make my own damn choices. I'm not telling you how you should think. You're listening to me because you think maybe I got a point. Or because maybe you want to hear it a different way. I'm not here to convince anybody to hate somebody. The guy does it all himself. He would rather see genocide for political gain than have a healthy conversation. And he proved that with his support for Castro. And his ability to lie to whoever listened to him about police brutality just adds fuel to the fire. But we're now going to move on to Brett Kavanaugh. The hearing today is, I guess, first of however many. That was just an absolute shit show. I didn't get to watch any of it. I got to see highlights. I heard there was 60 interruptions in an hour. I heard Linda Sarsour got arrested, who is an avid supporter of Colin Kaepernick. But Linda Sarsour is a piece of garbage, so that should tell you something. She's all for women's rights. women's rights. It's all about abortion with this guy. And it's literally all been speculation on whether or not anything would happen to Roe. Get over it. It should not be a right to murder a baby. It shouldn't. It absolutely should not. People claim, you shouldn't appoint somebody for political gain or to pass a certain, ideology, and yet that's what happened in Roe. So, eat it. I guess some left-wingers, they accused Zina Bash, the woman of Mexican Jewish descent, who was seated behind Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh during Tuesday's Senate confirmation hearings, of making a white power sign. What? She's a Mexican Jew. Hey, man. I guess they're accepting all sorts of people these days. The Aryan nation's letting everybody in, even women now. I don't get that at all. He's saying the husband, John Bash, his father's side's Jewish, mother's side's Mexican. His wife's grandparents were Holocaust survivors. What? And he and his wife weren't even familiar with the hateful symbol being attributed to her for the random way she rested her hand during a long hearing. What? It was a long hearing, and she rested her hand in a potentially offensive way. This is what America's coming to. People are being offended by people resting their hands for being tired. I don't get it. I don't get it at all. She was resting her hand. It was a long hearing. Especially you add in the time that people spent making a mockery of it and disrupting it. It's ridiculous. And then you come on over to Hollywood, and these people sit there and they melt down about it, and oh God, I can't believe this, and this, and this, and here we go, Chelsea Handler. Can't let them roll back the progress we've made on women's rights. We've got to keep fighting. The hearings start Tuesday. We've tied up their phone lines. Now let's flood their mailboxes. Why? Chelsea Handler's previously said Kavanaugh will turn back the clock on decades worth of progress for women. Good. There is no progress. There is no progress in murder. None. It's shameful. It's very shameful. Sit there and brag about it. So here's what Samantha Bee said. So here's what we learned so far from the Kavanaugh hearing. There's nothing elderly white men love more than interrupting women. There's nothing elderly white men hate more than being interrupted by women. And we already knew all that. Really? And then Rosie O'Donnell. I support every woman protesting the Kavanaugh appointment. Kathy Griffin. She loves Kamala Harris. Because She interrupted the proceedings. Just stop. It's just ridiculous. You're gonna sit there and love abortion so much that even at the mere chance, which has not been confirmed at all, that this man would be that vote to help overturn it, you're freaking out this hard. And these I almost forgot, all these interruptions today were all planned. They were all planned by these guys, by the left wing. They were all planned. And if it wasn't dumb enough, this anti-Trump Parkland dad, his daughter was killed in the Parkland shooting, so obviously you got to feel for this guy. But listen to this, okay? This is what this guy tweets out. His name is Fred Guttenberg. He tweeted out, he says, just walked up to Judge Kavanaugh as morning session ended, put out my hand to introduce myself as Jamie Guttenberg's dad. He pulled his hand back, turned his back to me, and walked away. I guess he didn't want to deal with the reality of gun violence. That's what you say? You know what that is? Nothing. That is on purpose. That is you looking for attention, and all you did was make your daughter's death meaningless. You made a mockery of your daughter's murder because you felt entitled to anything. And then you put it on social media like a bum. And then Senator Kamala Harris, she's a piece of garbage. If Kavanaugh won't even give him a handshake, how can we believe he would give gun violence victims a fair shake in court? So you see how all of this is playing together? All of it? Gun violence victims, a fair shake in court. If they're the victims, they're going to do just fine. Right? If they're truly the victims, they're going to be okay. But then it comes out that, there were a couple different angles. NBC News reported the White House denied Guttenberg's account and said it was an unidentified individual approached Kavanaugh. There was, was there a video or a picture? No, there was a video from a different angle that confirmed the White House's story. And that Guttenberg approached Kavanaugh and said, my daughter was murdered in Parkland. Oh. Huh. So that's way different than what he had claimed. So the man used his daughter's death to seek attention, to seek national attention, got it, and then flat out lied about it. So all he did was make himself look like an ass and discredit his daughter's death. All in the name of progress. All in the name of progress and trying to belittle and put somebody down who has done nothing wrong to you and who factually supports something, being the Second Amendment, that would have saved your daughter. I'd rather be... It just blows my mind that people are so mad that they're literally doing antics, these childish antics that are coordinated by the left wing. Not just liberals, the left wing in general. These degenerate people, these progressives that try so hard to be relevant, and they just suck utterly at life. Thank you for listening. That's been it today. I will post the stories in the show notes. God bless you, and God bless America.